Join in the call if you begin with an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Well, we played the measuring stick in our league in the Big Ten Conference, and we didn't quite measure up, but I thought we did some good things. And unfortunately, in the first half, we made some mistakes that are hard to overcome against a team like that. But I thought our kids continued to chop the whole game. I thought our coaches didn't perform or coach very well in the first half. In the second half, they continued to chop and didn't get discouraged and kept playing, and some things went our way. We know we got a lot of work to do, but they fought and they continued to chop the whole game, and that's a good place to be building from. So we just got to go.
We'll take our first question from Keith Sargent, NJ.com.
Greg, what was the thinking behind playing Art on the final drive? And considering that you used all three quarterbacks, I know you've used Johnny in the past the way you have, but are you thinking about opening up the quarterback a little bit, the quarterback competition going forward?
No, that was just at the end of the game. We had an opportunity for Art to play, and we thought it would be good to get him in the game. You could see that we used Johnny throughout all three games. Look, we're just trying to find the best way to win games, and but Noah won the job, and he's the quarterback, and we have guys that we think are good and can contribute. So where we think that's an opportunity, we're going to do it. That's what we did tonight.
Take our next question from Chris Eisman with Gannett.
Greg, going forward, obviously, to make this, to fight as much as you guys did in the second half. I mean, what kind of performance can this do for you guys going forward, and how much confidence can this give so many of the players? To put up that type of game against a team like Ohio State.
Well, it all depends what we do with it, Chris. But it looked bleak, 35-3 at the half. But certainly, we all challenged ourselves. It was coaches and players. We needed to all do a better job. And we did. We just put ourselves behind an 8-ball. But the fact that we were able to do better in the second half, we have to build on that. It's whatever time it is now, 11:30. We won't get back till the middle of probably till early morning. We got a tough game at noon next week. So that's where our focus shifts immediately. We got to get ready for Illinois, and it's going to be a battle. So if we can build on this, then it's all good. If we don't, then we're not going to even talk about it. If we don't, we have to.
We'll go to James Cratch, NJ.com.
Greg, was that offensive effort, especially in the second half, kind of indicative of what you envisioned that Sean could bring? It was 81 plays, 9 different receivers. Only 1 sack allowed, which is probably the big number for the offensive line.
It's a huge number, Cratch. Very, very important. I think that was a combination. The O-line did a good job, and no one knew I got to get rid of this thing because that's a high caliber defensive front. I think we all know what the vision is and what we want to be, and we're building something, so we're not going to not do what we're building if it suits this game or that game. But we're trying to win every game. Like I said to you before, these kids have given such an incredible effort to us in these last 11 months that they deserve our very best to help them win, and that's what we're trying to do.
Go to Richie Schneiderite with Rivals.
Hey, Coach, you guys threw a couple crazy laterals on kick return and punt returns. Obviously, you and Coach Shire are from Ohio State, so did you kind of already know they were going to load the one side and kind of just scheme against that, or?
You know what? There's certain things that you look at and you think maybe you'll have an opportunity, but the reality is those are tough things. They're very athletic, right? So when you look at the opening kickoff, it looks like it's going to go the distance, and it only makes it to the 35 or 36-yard line. So, but the punt, we were very fortunate. The punter hit a great punt, which you need to run that play. So it gives you time to get a few steps and then throw it. we're fortunate there. But again, they practiced it all week, and then they executed it. So good for that. Good for our guys.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll go to Steve Politti, NJ.com.
Hey, Greg, this is a strange question, but you've probably shown more onside kick looks than a team will in the season. Is there any danger of unloading too much of the playbook in games like this? I mean, do you have something saved up for the rest of the season? I mean,
no, that's what they pay us for, right? I mean, we'll dream something up because, like, I really believe this. Every week is a one-game season. And as I told you guys last week, you literally mourn it when you lose, right? And I know many people didn't expect us to win, but we did. We expected to win, and we didn't win. So we're mourning this right now. It's hard, but you got to learn from it. You got to get on the tape right away. You got to learn from it with the players. We got to learn. It starts with me, and it goes through the staff, and then we have to be the teachers and convey it to our players. That's the essence of coaching, and we have to do a better job, all of us, starting with me. But I know this: if you chop the way those players and coaches did, then it gives you a good chance. And really, that's what we're banking on right now, that we just keep chopping and figure it out.
We'll go to Jake Ostrov with 24/7 Sports.
Greg, what were some of those things that you saw in the first half that you're able to quickly get set up for the second half?
It wasn't really things. We made some mistakes, Jake, that we were able to get corrected. And then one of them we repeated, so it was unfortunate. But I think players executed a little better. Coaches coached a little better. The main ingredient, though, is not one person on that sideline said, "Oh, what's the sense?" Everybody just kept going. And like I said, that's what gives you a chance. And now we'll go back to work, and tomorrow we'll be out there practicing tomorrow night, and you just got to get better. And if you had endless amounts of time between games, you probably could do it, but we don't. It's ticking, so we got to figure it out fast.
Go back to Keith Sargent, NJ.com.
Greg, we talked about Sean's imagination, innovation as an offensive play caller, but the throwback to Raekwon O'Neal, where did that come from? And just the way that Noah executed it, and obviously Raekwon, what were your thoughts on that?
That was really a good play call. If you remember, we threw that to Jeremy Suda. We threw that to Anthony Davis, the bowl game, and then to Anthony. So it's a good play. You get to use it once in a while. People will be on it now. Like, I forget one of you guys. I think Steve asked about the onsides. I think, right? Like, you just got to come up with new stuff.
We'll go to Aaron Brightman on the banks.
Hey, Coach. You've talked about how hard this team works and the mentality of playing to win. But once you started to have some success in the second half, it also seemed like this team started to have fun and play a little bit looser than we've seen in the past. Can you talk about how that's manifested and how important that is to also being able to play well?
That's an old chicken and the egg. When you're doing well, you have fun. But is it they playing looser, or because they're playing well, then they look like they're having more fun, right? I don't ever want our team to be tight. I want them to be, confident that they've prepared. That's where real confidence comes in, that you paid the price in the 6 days between games and you've prepared. And, that's physical, mental, and emotional preparation. And that's when you play loose. Right? But certainly once you start making some plays, and I thought Bo had some incredible efforts tonight. Just second and third and fourth efforts that, show the player that he is. And we're going to need him in a big way going forward. I thought a lot of guys showed great efforts. I think when Pop took that one up the sideline, you saw really how fast he is, man. He cooked it pretty good for a big back. So we have some weapons. We got to make sure we just keep finding ways to utilize them. And if the line can continue to improve the way that they are, we're going to start to move the ball and score more points each week. Just you got to do it. You can't talk about it. You got to do it.
We're going to take 2 more questions. We'll go to James Cratch, NJ.com.
Greg, the pass defense, how much of it do you just chalk up the fact that Justin Fields probably going to win the Heisman? He a quarterback of that caliber.
I tell you, it's hard. You're right. I thought we did a good job putting pressure on him. I thought at times, quite honestly, I don't even know that. I just know we got a couple sacks. I'm watching the back end, so I don't even see the pressure part of it. But he's really good. I mean, you're right. I think he will probably win the Heisman. He's that good, right? And when he starts to running around, he's so dangerous. But let's remember who's catching the ball. Those are 2 elite receivers. Elite. And Chris, I knew. I got to coach him, and I knew how good a player and he's just gotten better and better. He's a legitimate big time pro player. So some of that's that. Their tight ends are good. They have a lot of weapons. We made some mistakes as well, but as I always say, sometimes the quality of your opponent can force you to make some mistakes, and that may have happened too. So it's not good enough, right? We came here to win, and we didn't win, but we'll grow from it and keep getting better.
We'll take our final question from Steve Pilidi, NJ.com.
Greg, you mentioned Ohio State being the measuring stick for the league. You might have played the best 2 teams in your division back-to-back weeks. I'm curious if that just raises your own expectations or your own confidence level, for the next 5 games coming up here.
I'm not sure, Steve. I just know we have to get better. If we can get better at the things we didn't do well and continue to be doing the things we did do well, we got a chance to be a pretty good team. Are we going to be the elite team? Maybe not yet, right? May not happen right away, but you find ways to win. That's what we need to do. We don't have to worry about being this or being that. We just need to find ways to win. We need to do our job. We need to keep chopping and find ways to win. And as I always say, let's figure it out. Right? There's an issue. Let's figure it out. And that's what we get paid to do as coaches. And we need to teach our players how to figure it out. So we're going to do that. We're getting on this plane. We're getting out of here and get home and get to work on Illinois. It'll be Saturday noon before you know it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.